Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota, the place where we try to make sense of the confusing world of corporate finance. And this week we've got a filing from Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust. And let me tell you, it is less about surprise fireworks and more about a steady beat. But there is still a story hidden in the numbers if you look closely. So what is this filing all about? Well, it's a current report from Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust, an 8K filing, which basically means something important happened that the company needs to tell its investors about right away. And in this case, the big news is about their property values, or more specifically, their net asset value, or NAV. Per share as of September 2025, and they're also giving us a peek at how things looked in August. They reported their net asset value per share for each class of common shares, and these are pretty varied. For example, Class B shares were valued at $20.1084 per share, while Class R shares were a bit lower at $19.9705. Other classes like J-1, J-2, J-4, SI, and E also have their own specific NAVs, all hovering around the $20 mark. So what does this all mean essentially? This is how they calculate the value of the company's assets after deducting its liabilities, and it is a crucial number for investors to understand the underlying worth of their investment. Now let's dive into the details of what makes up this net asset value. For September 2025, the company had about $1.7 billion in commercial real estate loan investments. That is a massive chunk of their assets. They also have around $349 million in investments in real estate, related assets, and $196 million in cash and cash equivalents. On the flip side, they have significant liabilities too, like secured debt arrangements totaling almost $924 million. They also have revolving credit facilities, which are basically loans they can draw on, costing them another $190 million. After all the calculations, they arrived at a total net asset value of over $1.1 billion. Looking at the numbers from August 2025, we can see some shifts. Their commercial real estate loan investments were slightly lower at around $1.6 billion, and their investments in real estate related assets also saw a small decrease. Cash and cash equivalents were also down a bit to about $111 million. But their secured debt arrangements went up significantly to over $802 million. Their revolving credit facilities also increased to $214 million. The total net asset value for August was $1.1 billion. One interesting thing to note here is the number of outstanding shares. In September, they had just under 56,839 shares outstanding, and in August it was around 54,785 shares. This means there were more shares out in September compared to August when you consider the NAV. Per share for Class B, for example, it was $20.1084 in September compared to $20.159 in August. So while the total NAV might increase or decrease the NAV, per share is influenced by the number of shares available. It's like slicing a pie. If you have more slices, even if the pie is the same size, each slice gets smaller. Let's look closer at the breakdown by share class for September 2025. Class B shares represented the largest portion of the NAV at $469 million with over 23,000 shares. Class J-1 shares had a NAV of $313 million with about 15,000 shares. Notice how the NAV per share for Class J-1 was $19.9767. It's interesting to see the different valuations across these classes, even though they all seem to be in the same general ballpark. This difference is likely due to varying fee structures or investment strategies associated with each class. Now shifting to August 2025, the Class B shares still held the largest NAV at $460 million with roughly 22,800 shares. Class J-1 also remained a significant portion with $313 million in NAV and over 15,000 shares. The NAV per share for Class B was $20.159 in August. You can see subtle changes across all classes, and share counts indicate a bit of growth and perhaps new investments or redemptions happening between these 2 months. So what is the verdict on Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust? Based on this filing, they appear to be a company heavily involved in commercial real estate lending. Their NAV is substantial and shows a steady performance over the month of September. The company is managing significant debt and leveraging its assets through credit facilities. The different classes of shares suggest a strategy to cater to various investor types with potentially different investment goals and risk appetites. The key takeaway here is the stability and the transparent reporting of their NAV. While there are no dramatic swings or alarming risks highlighted in this particular filing, it's important for investors to understand the composition of the company's assets and liabilities. Their reliance on secured debt arrangements and revolving credit facilities means they are using leverage to amplify returns, potentially amplifying losses too, if things turn south. The slight dip in NAV per share in some classes from August to September isn't necessarily a red flag, but it's something to monitor as part of a larger trend. One thing to keep in mind too is that this is an 8K filing, which is for current events. A more comprehensive picture of the company's financial health would come from their quarterly 10Q or annual 10-key reports. This filing primarily informs us about their valuation at a specific point in time. Overall, Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust seems to be a well-established real estate investment trust focused on lending. For investors who understand and are comfortable with real estate debt investments, this filing offers a clear look at their financial position as of late September. No major surprises, but solid information for those paying attention. Alright, that is our breakdown of Fortress Credit Realty Income Trust's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.